My dear children of class 12, in my previous video, we came to know about the first part of the story, Lost Springs, Stories of Stolen Childhood, the second chapter of your main textbook, Flamingo. Let's discuss part 2, and we will come to know about Mukesh. I want to drive a car. Part 2 begins with Mukesh's wish. Now Mukesh wants to be his own master. Here the authoress has a chance to see another boy named Mukesh who insists being his own master by becoming a motor mechanic. He lives amidst the dusty streets of Firozabad, and it's a town famous for the bangles. I think most of the children know that. Every other family in Firozabad is engaged in making bangles. It is a center of India's glass blowing industry. And here, families have spent generations after generations making bangles for women. And Mukesh's family is one among them. Now, children work in glass furnaces and their living conditions are pitiable, deplorable. About 20,000 children work in glass furnaces with high temperature without air and light. And their living conditions too are pitiable. Now, let's know about the family of Mukesh. Mukesh's house is like a half-built shack. Its one part is thatched with dead grass, and on the firewood stove she sees a large vessel of sizzling spinach leaves. Mukesh's father is an impoverished bangle maker, and he has not been in position to send his two sons to school except teaching them the art of bangle making. Now Mukesh's grandmother has a strong belief in one's karam. So she says that it is his karam, his destiny, who has watched her husband go blind with the dust from polishing the glass of bangles. And they cannot give up God-given lineage. They have born in the caste of bangle makers, and they will see nothing except the bangles. And all the family members living in the dark huts sit together and weld pieces of colored glass into circles or bangles. And their eyes are more set to work in the dark than to the outside light, often blinding them before they grow adult. Now let's come to know about Savita, a young girl soldering the glass ends. Savita, alongside an elderly woman, solders the glass pieces, her hands moving mechanically. So the authoress wonders if Savita knows the sacredness of the bangles she works upon. The bangles represent the symbols of Indian woman's suhag, auspiciousness in marriage. That is, it's a sign of good omen. Now the old woman has still the bangles on her wrist, but there is no light in her eyes. In her whole lifetime, she did not eat one full meal. That is all she has earned. And her old husband tells that except bangles, he knows nothing. Nothing has changed in Firozabad over years. There is still the mind-numbing hard work, which kills all initiative, enterprise, skill, and ability to dream. Now the authoress asks them to have a cooperative out of inquisitiveness. And they say if they get organized, police will catch them, beat them, and put them into prison for doing illegal activity. They don't have any leader among them to tell them to do things differently. And the elders are as tired as they are. They talk endlessly in a spiral, taking them from poverty to insensibility, and to greed and to injustice. Now, we we see that the authoress sees clearly the two worlds. One is that of the family caught in the web of poverty, carrying the work of bangle making, and the other is a cheat circle of sahukars, middlemen, policemen, keepers of law, bureaucrats and politicians. All this together have enforced the child with this baggage which he cannot put down. By the time he becomes aware of it, he also accepts it as naturally as his father. So the authoress sees a ray of hope in the eyes of Mukesh to become a motor mechanic. So the garage is far away from his house, but he shall work. The narrator asks him if he dreams of flying a plane. He silently says no. Thus he is satisfied with the dream of cars that move down the streets of Firozabad. And few airplanes fly over his town. So this is all about the second part of the story. Okay. Now go through the chapter and try to understand on your own, and later on I shall explain the chapter in my next video. Thank you, and that's all for today.